Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 28 of the August daily draws. Let's see what message we get today, and I'll be taking the first card from the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, followed by an Oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. So, let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. And we'll go there. So we have the King of Cups. This is about mastery of the emotions, being in touch with our feelings, our emotions, and being in, keeping them under control, keeping them in check, keeping them, not repressing them, not suppressing them, not restraining them, but not letting them overwhelm us. Sometimes our emotions can overwhelm us if we allow them. We need to have that firm footing that he has here. He may have the sea around him, but he also has a point where he's solid. He's on firm ground. He's on rock. He's on stone. He's not moving. And he's not intimidated by the waves. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's not being intimidated by our emotions, by our feelings, the way we feel about things, the way we feel about ourselves and the situations that we face. It's so easy to be overwhelmed. It's sometimes like waves come crashing over us, and we feel anxious, we feel fearful, we feel all these strong emotions. We feel insecure, yes, you can have also waves of joy, of peace, it doesn't, a wave doesn't, of emotion doesn't have to be, something that we would rather not have. But the thing is no matter whether it's a wave of joy or a wave of fear, he is not overwhelmed by either. He's not intimidated by either. Because even joy, yes, it's always good to feel joyful and have a wave of exuberant joy come over us. And for a time, that's good. We express an exuberant joy. But I don't know, is it, and I question this, people may disagree or may have different opinions on this, but how is it just as concerning to be overwhelmed, continually overwhelmed? I don't mean just having a burst of exuberant joy. That's good. That's a pleasant feeling. But to want to feel that all the time, this thing about waves is they're meant to ebb away again. And that doesn't mean that when the joy goes away, it means we get an exuberant lift of joy. And then it subsides a little, but the joy's still there, but it's not as intense as it was at the beginning. And I think that's okay. But if for some reason we feel overwhelmed with it, sometimes we don't know what to do with it. When we have this constant sense of really intense joy, we can have an outburst of joy and have a moment of joy, and we can feel, happy, content, joyful in a more, in a more relaxed way. But if we feel too stimulated, it can be just as bad. I say bad, maybe that's the wrong word. Just as concerning. This is difficult to navigate as if we have a wave of anxiety or fear, for instance. Now, maybe fear and anxiety can be more debilitating to us, and we definitely don't want to be overwhelmed by that or be intimidated by that. We need to be able to get that under control. Yes, we need to be aware of it. We need to be in touch. I mean, the King of Cups is very much in touch with his emotions and his spiritual life within himself. He knows his emotions. He knows his spiritual condition. He's aware, very much aware. The difference is that he knows he's the master of that life. He's the master of it. And he can be informed. He can experience these emotions and spiritual experiences and knowledge, but he's never intimidated or overwhelmed by them. And he knows how to put them in context. He knows how to perceive them, and he knows how to respond to them in a way that he doesn't allow them to overtake him. He's still the boss. He's still out on top. He can, it's the waves may come, but he knows he's not going to get carried away by them. He's going to keep his head above the water. He's not going to drown in them. He's not going to be too overwhelmed by them, because he's learnt how to deal with the feelings that he feels, and the experiences he has. He knows how to keep a cool head in when the emotions are swirling. And sometimes that's easier said than done, but this card would suggest to us that more often than not, there's a need to make sure that we don't deny our feelings, because if the more we try and push them away, eventually they will come even stronger, and it will be harder to deal with them, because you can't suppress or push back waves of emotion indefinitely. No, you've got to allow it to come. You feel it, but you channel it and you adjust to it, and you channel it in a certain way, and you respond to it in a way where it doesn't overwhelm you. That, okay, this is what I'm feeling, so how do I respond to this feeling? And having the wisdom and the knowledge to know that whatever the feeling is, you are still in charge of your journey. You're still in charge of how you respond. You're in charge in the midst of your circumstance. You may not fully control the nature of the wave that comes at you, but you have a say in how it affects you and how you respond to it. So let's respond to it in a controlled way that acknowledges the way we feel, but directs it in a constructive way in the response. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Meadow. She's sat in the meadow here, very free. Let your being be as full and vibrant as a summer meadow. Look at the vibrancy with the flowers. So let your soul feel, the vibrancy like a meadow, the freedom, the air, and not let it be overwhelmed by anything that comes across. Yes, you may get a sense of feeling about something. You may get certain emotions, but don't let that crowd out the vibrancy and the fullness of your soul. Don't let it too overwhelm your soul to the point that you drown out all this vibrancy. And I believe that is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 29. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.